Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Enough channel. In this video we're going to do our round preview for round 14 of the 2024 NRL fantasy season. So as usual, we'll have a quick look at the who's hot and who's not list from NRLFantasyStats.com. So if we look at the hot list first, we've got Brendan Hands and Dave Fifita absolutely on fire. And I guess, agree with both. Brendan Hands, super cheap, dual position. The only knock is he won't cover round 16, but, we can, definitely find cover for round 16 at the hooker position with the likes of Abby Coruscant, Darren Marshall-King. So if you didn't get on him last week, get on. He'll make some good money. And then, when we want to start upgrading for our final teams, that extra value will come in handy. Dave Fifita, probably, in my opinion, the number one target this week, just given, it looks like he's on the outer for the Origin team. Queensland played really well. Jeremiah Nanai, Jaden Seward both played really well on the edges. So don't know if there's a spot for him at the moment, which just means, all good things for us in fantasy land, given the only buy that he'll have that sort of affects the bigger rounds is going to be round 17. So get on Dave Fifita. Latrell Mitchell at number 3, probably the number one shout for a wing fullback, given, South, I think, are in the same boat as the Titans, only round 17 out of the rest of those big buy rounds. So yeah, if you need to upgrade a wing fullback, Latrell is your man. Jerome Hughes at number 4. So I guess not one I'd considered in the halves, but obviously we'll play round 16 and 17. Let's have a quick look at his stats. I know he's got a fairly high break even in Supercoach, but 59 in fantasy is probably reasonable. He's priced at 53, so you might be paying a little bit over. But if you're looking for a gun half that will cover round 16, Jerome Hughes is maybe one of your best shouts at the moment. Lyman Tungy, I've got him as a trap. Said as much in the Tops, Chops, Chaps and Slaps video out yesterday. If we have a look at his stats, it'll highlight why. So can we filter out this year? Yes, we can. So you can see he scored 104 in round 12, which is awesome, but that was thanks to 2 tries, 9 tackle busts. I think there's a line break in there too. All right, and if you look at the only other game where he scored big in round 3, it was off the back of 12 tackle busts, 37 tackles. You take those 2 out, and he's averaging 40s. Like a couple above 40 there, but like a couple 48s, but then a 30, 33, 36. So, basically, although he's averaging 50, he's priced at 47. You're sort of getting a 40 average player most weeks. So the drill position's nice, the draw's nice, but just not the value. Mitchell Moses, I've got as a little bit of a trap, just might find his way in the New South Wales team, which doesn't really affect round 16 much, but may impact, backing up for round 17. And then obviously round 19 and 20 could be an issue as well. So just be mindful of that if you bring in Mitchell Moses. Scott Drinkwater, another trap, just given the Cowboys have buys coming up round 16, round 19. I think, Latrell offers better coverage during that time at a similar price point. Jacob Preston, yep, if you're looking for a point of difference on the edge, bring him in. He's not going to score 2 tries every week, but, he will play round 16, round 17, and round 20. They do have the bye in round 19, the Bulldogs, but, offers some good bye coverage coming up. Tuolungi, another edge option. I think just maybe bringing in on price, break even. So I haven't really looked too deeply at him, but it looks like he got his first start and went okay with the 48. So it's obviously related to the minutes. He's obviously had some pretty junk minutes. Um, I think there's just stronger options for generating cash as well as scoring points. So um, and I won't play around 16. So probably one to avoid. Samuel Alfano, so offers good dual position, decent price, nice break even, and good job security. Played 80 minutes on the edge last week. Bateman, Papali, both out injured long term. So, it's essentially his spot for the next few weeks. And the Tigers do have really nice buy coverage. So, I think Fino is a decent buy. He obviously overshadowed by the likes of Fanua Blake, Dave Fafita, the big guns in the middle and the edge. But if you're looking for a cheaper option, he is a great pick. Hopewadi, the Manly fullback, so I obviously played the one game. Didn't set it a lot, so there's potential for maybe some attacking stats. Um, and particularly against the Storm, we weren't expecting a lot of attacking stats. Another tough game against Penrith, so I'm pretty happy to have another look. And then, it could be one to target for round 16, 19, 20. Um, yeah, so if you're looking for a downgrade this week, he is a good shout. But like I said, I'm going to have another look against Penrith. And then when his draw opens up a bit, might be the time to strike. Eli Katoa talked about alongside Dave Fafita as being a top option for the edge. Obviously a bit cheaper, a bit nicer break even, um, but I guess slightly lower price because he's a slightly lower averaging scorer. But as you can see, all greens, all good. 50s seem to be the floor. A couple of hiccups with 30s there, but we don't need to stress about that. Last 3 weeks in the 60s. Happy days for Eli Katoa. Where are we up to? Adam Blake, top middle option. Warriors have a good run. I don't know if we need to look at his stats. We'll just do it for fun. See, nice and green. Obviously missed out in round 12 after, a down game against Panthers. So some may be tempted to wait a bit, but you're just missing out on points this week, in my opinion. Jack Whiten, I think, is the top shout for the centres. Just given his super cheap price, he's moving into 5/8, where he does average well. So have a quick look. He's priced at 28, and if we just filter out by position 5/8, we'll say over 60 minutes just to cover games where he might have been rested at the back end. And scroll down over all the years, he's averaging 46. So it's not groundbreaking, but I mean, if he's priced at 28 and he can average 45, 46, he's going to make a bit of money. And obviously has good buy coverage. Dual position could be handy to help cover for buys. So, Jack Whiten is one to definitely consider bringing in. And Toby Couchman, so, got lucky, got a try on the weekend. So 62 and 39 minutes looks amazing. But, definitely tackles are there, runs are there with 94 metres. But obviously the try, the line break, the associated tackle bust as you crash over the line definitely boosted that score. If you have a look a bit further down through history, it's the minutes sort of impact the scores. So obviously if the minutes are there, it's great. If, he's playing 30 minutes off the bench, it's going to be about 30 points. So on the chopping block, Sam Hughes, has had a bit of a role change. His minutes have dropped significantly. So you can see that was last year. So he was going from 30 to 40 down to 14. So maybe it is a one-off, but he did also have that role at the start of the year. So yeah, I think we can get out of it. It's just not worth the hassle. Nico Hines, obviously, too much money on his head. It's you just got to get rid of him, bring him back in once his value bottoms out. Ethan Strange, obviously it's a tough week with Roosters, Dolphins, and the Raiders all on a bye, and you'll notice a lot of those names on this list. So, if you've got a heap of them, I think Ethan Strange does have to go. Similar story with Angus Crichton, just won't play enough over the next few weeks to justify holding. Tedesco, uh, you could hold him potentially. Obviously, if you need to cut him to make numbers, you can. But he does have a nice break even from memory. Yeah, 27. And if Edwards is fit, you'd imagine he'll just slot back in as he was supposed to be the fullback. So Tedesco will be good to go for around 16, 17. Um, so yeah, not the strongest hold. There's a couple that I would suggest holding over them. I don't know if they appear on this list, but out of the ones on the list, here's the one to hold. Reuben Cotter, yeah, buy's coming up. Surely they'll give him a bit of a rest as well. Todd Payton's all pretty big on making sure his forwards are as fresh as they can be. So I think you can chop him. Brandon Smith, just on the buy, hasn't shown much. Get out of it. Dylan Edwards, maybe hold, see if he plays this week. Um, if not, and you are struggling for numbers, I've definitely thought about chopping him. I'm going to try and hold, but I'm not guaranteeing anything as we go into my team very soon. Trey Fuller, probably one I would try and hold. If you bought him in, it was probably to, cover the big buy rounds. But again, obviously, if you've stacked up on those three teams, you might just have to chop him. Morgan Smithies I did have as a slap, but honestly, I can see people chopping him. That's fine. Chevy Stewart, if you've got him, yeah, it was you were hoping he'd play around 13. He didn't, so just chop him. Layban, I think a few people got on when he was making money, but break even of 4. So, yeah, 22. So didn't really make any money off the back of that 49. So he reverted the type. The only issue is who do you trade him to at 274? There is a couple of options, but probably nothing too exciting. Might just be upgrading to someone else. Bostock, I did chop him. You could hold him, but definitely not the main player to keep from the Dolphins. So chop him. Jamin Salmon, I think he played 80 minutes and didn't do that great from memory. Yeah, 22 and 80 minutes. So compared to 65 off the back of 2 tries, it's not good signs. But I guess they did go down the right edge a lot more than the left last week. So a reluctant chop. Reece Robson, upcoming buys. He played well enough. He should stay in the team, even if they do go with a 2 hooker system. So yeah, I think you can cut Reece Robson. All right, so I guess having a look at that, what does it mean for my team? So I've gone in, I've just quickly subbed out the players that aren't playing this week. And as you can see, we've ended up with 6 on the bench. So we need to bring in at least 2 players out of this 6. The one that I've been comfortable with the whole time is trading out Angus. Let me trade him out. And we're just going straight for feeder, straight swap, edge for edge, nice and easy. Lock that in. Um, so then the other move, Ewan Aitken, he's a keeper as far as I'm concerned as a centre. So I'm not trading him out. K.A. Weeks has still got way too much value, so we're not trading him. Max Plath offers good buy coverage, so I'm not keen on trading him. So I guess what we're left with is either Edwards or Johnson. So if we have a look at Sean Johnson, actually I need to look at him over here, don't I? Can I find him? Don't know. Oh, Sean Johnson, there we go. So, at a break even of 94, that's good enough for me I was going to try and hold him, but someone had to go. if he was playing this week, I wouldn't have the issue, but he's not. And as you can see, I've got Galvin, Hands, and then on the bench, Wishart, also K. Weeks, even Max Plath can cover the halves. So whereas wing fullback, I'm a little bit lighter on. Obviously, Wishart and Weeks can cover in there. It's helped that Talangi's also got dual position coverage now. Um, but I think I'm happy to trade out SJ, and I'm going to use that money to bring in Fanua Blake. So if we go to the team, we can sort of patch things up a bit here. So get Fanua Blake on for Hughes, for Feeder on for Fini Fuiaki. Slide them up. Should just swap around, I suppose. And I guess you can do something a bit funky as well if you've got a Dylan Edwards because he is in the reserves. So you could just plug him in there, and obviously if he plays, that's great. If not, you can cop a Sam Hughes. Um, but I guess the reality is I'm not really keen on copping a Sam Hughes anymore. So I am thinking of trading him and looking at, you know, again, I could go to like an Uda Ikamanu or Tohu Harris from the Warriors. But, I think we still got to chase some value. So Samuel Afano is the player I'm looking at bringing in just to, shore up particularly the middle stocks. Um, but then the other argument is, Hughes might be a valuable number, whereas Fini Fuiaki, um, we've got plenty of edge cover with Willison, Curran, Law, Fafita, you know. Aitken at a pinch can go there. So, we've definitely got enough edges. So, the only thing with Fini Fuaki is he does have a nice break even. Um, so what I'm thinking really is, as much as I was going to bring in Api Coruscant, I was going to do 4 trades. It probably makes more sense to try and hold the trades. Then obviously, the team could reveal itself. It's not great that I have to rely on Fini Fuiaki and Sam Hughes, and to a degree, Xavier Willison. I did hold him expecting that, he would be able to get a few more minutes, and he may well do, but you never really know, so it is a bit scary. But I guess the other thing is we can sort of plug this into the buy planner and have a look at how it sits. So, the Angry Pirates, let's get them loaded up. Let's put in the 2 trades. So for Feeder in, and I've already forgotten the other one. That's terrible. Such poor memory. Oh, Sean Johnson, of course. So Sean Johnson to add in for Noah Blake. Alright, so I think if we go in, we'll just put, I think Harry Grant, where is he? Show yourself, Harry. Oh, there he is. We'll just plug him in as playing Origin, so he's blanked out there. I think he's the only one left because we traded Crichton. So we've only got 11 currently for round 16. But, the likes of Drinkwater, Fini Fuiaki will go in round 16. Um, so we got these guys, Hands, Hero, Talangi, Armstrong, but they all play around 19, so they're worth holding. So, maybe it's Edwards, 16 and 19, we may have to trade him out as well. So, well, I mean, we've got 11 according to this, so it may only be those 2 to get to 13. And then if we can find, like Samuel Finu, so let's plug him in. Samuela, there you go, I can't spell Finu, so that gives us an extra number for, what was that, 19? So maybe like a Latrell. you know. So that'll get us down to 6 trades, and we've got 13, you know, 19 there, 19 there, and 12 in round 19. So that's when, maybe Hughes is done by then, and we just get who he can get. KO Weeks might be done with Fogarty back in the frame. Wishart, could be peaked with Munster nearby. So, I think if we sort of go with the less is more strategy, obviously, could bring in a Coruscant and hope he doesn't play Origin. But I think the play is to go with the less is more. Just realised it's got really dark as I've been doing this video. So apologies for the poor light. Probably means I've gone too long. But yeah, we'll go with this. As I said, if Dylan Edwards doesn't get up, we'll just cop Hughes to score. Hopefully he does find a few more minutes on Monday. But again, the Eels another big forward pack, so I think the strategy could be pretty similar from the Dogs. Um, and yeah, still a lot of cash on the pine as well, which you want to spend it, but I think trades are probably more valuable at the moment. So we'll leave it at that. Actually, captain probably need to consider. Um, so do we want to put Harry Grant in that conversation potentially? Um, obviously we've brought in Fafita, so against Souths, who haven't been the strongest defensively, it could be worth a shout. VC on Grant. Um, yeah, and other than that, because of the nature of the squad, we don't have to do too much. It's all, you know, pretty much anyone that's out, that's the next best option to come in. So that's about it. We'll wrap it up there. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below the video. Give us a like if you enjoy the NRL fantasy content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content across the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.